Hello there, and welcome back to War Thunder. Yes, it's been a while, and I want to start off with a real banger, the first video of the patch 2.37. And yeah, I'm talking about one of the most blatant pay-to-win aspects of the game, where the ship, or in this case boat's performance, isn't that important to what it actually represents. And it's a mandatory pay to win. And that is the most annoying form of pay to win, in my opinion, because any sort of skill is just absolutely thrown out of the window, right? Now, if you have no idea how naval forces work, this is the very first game that I played in the French VLT-2, which is the only member of the French coastal fleet tech tree. And it's not even a tech tree ship, it's a rank 4 premium ship costing you 30 bucks. Euros, dollars, Gaijin coins, you name it. Per se, it's not that outstanding in its ability. It's a good ship, I'd say, but it's definitely not worth the money because that is ludicrously expensive. Then there is nothing to research currently because the tech tree is empty. And yet, if you are interested in the blue water section of the French tech tree, it's absolutely mandatory you have the ship in order to win the game, to have an influence in winning the game, at least when you are, like on this African Gulf map, in domination mode. And to summarize the situation, you need to cap. Capping wins you games. If there are, in this case, 3 different caps, you need to hold 2 of them longer than the enemy does, or nobody caps and you just outright win the game by killing them all. And it's enough to have even a reserve patrol boat to have a massive influence on the outcome of a game. And without it, if you have a blue water fleet, you can have a catapult fighter, and that is good enough to at least decap a cap, probably in some cases faster than such a patrol boat, but even then the spawn position relative to the caps prefers a patrol boat, and a patrol boat has just, in most cases, an advantage over a catapult fighter, even the German one, which currently is, when it comes to gun firepower, the strongest at the moment, if I'm not mistaken. Let's quickly go over the VLT-2 itself. It's a rank 4, battle rating 3.7 motor torpedo boat, and it has a top speed of 83 kilometers per hour, so it's relatively fast. And it has 2 40mm Bofors L60s, one in the front, one in the aft, 2 20mm mounted side by side, so most of the time you can only use one firing broadside, and then 2 550mm model 1919 V torpedoes. They are not particularly good, but good enough to have, let's put it that way. With the torpedo mode, you have 65 kilometers per hour speed, but a travel distance of only 4 kilometers and a TNT equivalent warhead of 262 kilograms. That's barely enough to bypass some of the stronger torpedo defense systems on modern cruisers, which are rated for 250 kilograms, so you barely do damage to them, but versus destroyers, very often it's enough, or you do massive damage. On top of this, you also have an artillery strike, and that's it. The most curious thing about this is that for such a small boat, you have the rather unique ability to fire the torpedoes at a variable angle, because the torpedo tubes, 1 per side, are somewhat traversable from 0 to roughly 35-ish degree, and that is very often enough to work around an island, etc. The depth charges are also modeled on this ship, but I would advise to not use them because, well, they don't exist. They are they are modeled, but not quite. So no, it's not depth charges. I'm sorry. It's actually the way that the 40mm clips look. Oh, sorry about the last part. That was my bad. Anyway, so if you have this ship, and if you have noticed at the very start of the game, I have chosen French violence with a battle rating of 6.3, where there is the Tech 3 Courbet class, the Paris, and obviously the premium version, the Courbet in its 1920 configuration. And, so that I have a prime example. And I got what I asked for a perfect demonstration in my first game. Now, if War Thunder Naval Forces would be in a constant spot of improvement, let's call it that way, I would say, okay, that's not cool, Gaijin, don't do this ever again, but it's just by design. And so, if you do not invest in this one, some enemy that you defeat in your battleship, even another battleship, or he respawns multiple times in cruisers, he has to just respawn once in a patrol boat, cap 2 of those caps, and you never have the chance to actually realistically approach the B point, let alone C, in time before the game ends by capping. And the entire French Tech 3, if I'm not mistaken, don't have a catapult fighter. And even if you would have one, such a patrol boat very often can outgun you, if you will. Even if you are in the German catapult fighter, the Arado with the 220s, you're just too slow. You blow yourself up with the bombs most of the times, and they're rather small, so you have to be really accurate. And such boats with the speed, it's somewhat of a challenge to actually get into position versus a good patrol boat captain. And you can see I'm up here to my 3rd cap, and I have administered quite a lot of Civiline boosters in order to improve the experience for me. Not the RP, but the Civiline experience. And it looks really boring, but this is how you win games. And I have seen it time after time after time, that people in their battleships, when they die, they just leave the game. I'm also one of them. Why would I play a patrol boat when I got sunk in my battleship, right? If I see that my team is just absolutely not willing to do anything, when they're just like lemmings, just pressing W and doing the best efforts, mimicking a World of Warships battleship player, right? That then gets hit by Shimakaze torpedoes. But I digress. Most of my team members and the enemy players are actual bots. And I'm not saying players that have bot programs running, but actual Gaijin implemented bots. And this just speaks quite a bit about how Naval Forces is perceived. The really interesting big names, Iowa, Yamato, Bismarck, King George V, Roma, they are not there yet. And even if they get thrown into this environment, well, you would spawn like 8, 9, 10 kilometers from the enemy, and especially a Yamato, before it turns the turrets, will receive a deadly salvo to the interesting shape of the front ammunition store, ammo rack, magazine, whatever you want to call it, and blows up, and then it cannot even cap, right? Just to show you what I really fear is going to happen. That might be then my 4th cap that I'm working on right now, if you haven't noticed. And yeah, I'm profiting from it quite a lot. All that the enemies have, all their destroyers, cruisers, and battleships, they duke it out in the middle of the ocean, and I'm just here doing my thing. It's funny once, let me tell you this one, and then it's getting boring. But you win games, so you can pad your statistics, especially if you do this artificial up tier thing. Here you can see the torpedoes in action. I see the enemy coming soon-ish. I expect it. Where is it? Where is it? There it is, stopped in time. And now I try to get an angle on it. but the first torpedo drop is not done properly, or it is done in too shallow water. Switch to the other one, have to turn a bit more, and we launch the torpedo. We smoke up and we reverse. That's one way of how to use smoke correctly. You have to put the smoke in between the line of sight of you and the enemies. You have to be obscured from anybody's vision. And there we got a bot kill, which is not really that rewarding RP and silver line wise. Anyway, I capped the 4th cap. I think that I have done quite a lot of work. And honestly, this gives me now time to speak about a bit more personal things, why you haven't seen me doing videos lately. So I started a new job over half a year ago, and I quite like this job. And after the job I go to the gym, and then when I get home after, you know, somewhat of a drive, I really don't get any kick out of War Thunder anymore. It's the same old routine, it's the same old story every day, and if not for the battle pass, I would play even less. And that battle pass is not that amazing at the moment, to be honest. I also enjoy going fishing lately. I'm thinking about, you know, doing shorts and you know, recording it, but my phone is not quite the best in the video quality right now, and setting up a camera on my head, it's not that easy at the moment, especially if it's really hot. I don't want to record myself. I don't want to record the recording be done by my girlfriend, who funnily enough loves going fishing, right? Because we are in nature, it's beautiful, there are a lot of swans, you know, she's actually fantastic. She loves nature, I love nature, going fishing, fantastic. Anyway, going back to this problem. So with better alternatives and having enjoyed War Thunder for way too long, I just got the ultimate badge of shame. 9 years of continuous login. I recorded it, but I just don't have the mental strength to to make a video about it, to say, hey, look, I logged in 9 years continuously and all I got was this. Because if you would see what I got, actually, you would just cry. Effectively, it was 5 universal backups. And the badge. And I'm not joking, the laugh is fake, only the tears are real. Yeah. Oh, Gaijin. So much is done correctly, so much done is right, and then the little bit of improvements, the little things that need to be done correctly, this is where Gaijin is then just salting your wounds, and that's just awful, right? What has Gaijin really hindered adding even one reserve patrol boat? If the devs know how the game works, if they would play it, that's the first thing that they would do in order to create a fair fight, or to give all the nations equal mandatory capabilities. But they obviously didn't. If you don't have something to cap, then what's worth, you know, fighting for, because all you do is continuously lose without your fault. Let me know in the comment section what you think. Please give this video a like with it. Subscribe if you want to see more. Please press that bell. That's the new subscription. And we'll see each other at some point in the future on the battlefields, in the skies, and on the waves of War Thunder.